While appreciating the human quality of her motherhood, it is befitting to remember that there was also a cosmic dimension to her motherhood as hinted in the above statement. This kind of self-revelation of her divinity, even in a theocentric sense, did occur occasionally in conversations with devotees and disciples, although generally she hid herself under a human veil. Such self-revelations occurred either unconsciously or in her talks to some very worthy persons, but there was never any tinge of self-glorification in it. To her nephew Shivram, she declared that she was Kali and blessed him by putting her hand on his head in an exalted mood. When the latter, in an intensity of spiritual longing, questioned her persistently on her identity and finally implored her, holding her feet and shedding copious tears. Once in her Dakshineshwar days, she asked Yoginma whether she offered dry bilwa leaves in her worship. On her admission, she said, "This morning during my meditation, I saw you offering dry bilwa leaves to M." She stopped suddenly and blushed without completing me. Swami Tanmayanand once prostrated himself before her and placed her feet on his head, to which the mother objected, explaining that the master dwells in the head as Shiva seated on the 1,000-petal lotus. To this the Swami said, "If the master is Shiva himself, who are you?" The mother replied unhesitatingly, "Who else could I be? I am the Divine Mother." At Kolpara, she put the master's picture and hers side by side and worshipped both. Once, when the devotee Vaikunt took leave of her at Kamarpukur, she said suddenly, "Vaikunt, call on me," and at once corrected herself by adding, "Call on the master." But Lakshmi Devi, who was present there, asserted that what came out of her mouth first was the fact and asked Vaikunt to stick to that command. The mother indicated her tacit agreement with the interpretation through her silence. Once Professor Gokul Das De found the mother sitting on the lowest step of the ghat on the Ganga, wrapped in meditation. In very low tone, not audible from that distance, he chanted verses from the Chandi in salutation of the visible mother before him. The mother opened her eyes, looked at the devotee and raised her hands in benediction, accepting her oneness with the Chandi invoked in those words. Yet such acts of self-revelation were few and far between, and occurring as they did in the midst of her vastly preponderating role as universal mother in a human sense, they may look to some as vague and ambiguous. The mother herself gave her explanation in her reply to a woman who asked her bluntly, "Why is it that we do not see you as the goddess?" The mother's reply was, "Can all and sundry do so, my dear?" There lay a diamond on a flight of steps on a tank. Everyone who went by it for bath took it for an ordinary stone, rubbed his or her feet on it as they went their way. At last a jeweler came and he recognized it to be a precious stone. The parable conveys the idea that Only those who had a real eye for matters divine and spiritual had the fitness to see that aspect of hers. From others, it remained hidden, but its revelation through the vestment of humanity was common to all.